If there's ever a happy city in this country, it's Nashville. They can handle a few clouds, and you're helping to usher them right through that. You know, 5 state capitals, including Nashville today.
Like the eye of a hurricane. I can feel the energy of nature, and I've been really fortunate to be in the path and be able to see very close-up tornadoes in the past. And as people are describing what they're feeling, it's almost a strange joy when you see a tornado that's not affecting anyone, when nature has that power, when it has that energy. And I think that's what a lot of people are starting to describe here. Even though we can see the crepuscular rays coming through, you see those angelic rays coming through those clouds. The temperature has dropped already at least 7 degrees just with the clouds and the eclipse that is passing. Even if we didn't see that full image here in Nashville, it was still such a gorgeous moment. And it's almost like we're at sunrise again, right here, right? Doesn't it? It's as if we passed an entire day. That was a quick day, everybody. That was fast. All right, let's head back into
Ginger's in Nashville. Ginger, our thanks to you, Ginger. You know, we might be up against the same challenge here in Charleston. I'm going to look up right now because I can't see a thing in front of me. But I can't see up to the sky. And I have to tell you, for the first time in about an hour, we can't see anything through the clouds. So we might be faced with the same sort of moment that Ginger had. But, you know, you saw what happened with TJ. You had that entire stadium filled in Carbondale, Illinois, which is actually going to see another total solar eclipse in 2024. They're one of the rarities that are going to see this in just a couple of years. And then the sun came out at the very last second. They were able to see totality. So when we come back here, only one more state to go to view a total eclipse. South Carolina, here we come. As we take you to break, thank you for sending in your pictures, your images. We're going to show what many of you at home have captured throughout the day. As our coverage of the Great American Eclipse, that's former Vice President Dick Cheney with his hat on, capturing the eclipse. You can see the eyewear elsewhere. That's Senator Lindsey Graham taking a moment from Capitol Hill to take in the Great American Eclipse and some of the faces around this country. Little guys staying home from school today, you know, and across the South, they had a big dilemma where school has reopened, whether or not to take the day off or not. We know here in Charleston, they've allowed them to stay home today. But it was a dilemma for some schools. I say take the day off. This only comes once. It's been 99 years since we waited for this. The Great American Eclipse on ABC. Live coverage continues right after the break. Back to you.
Hey, it's the Great American Eclipse. Your coverage continues here on ABC. I'm Amna here with Walt, and Walt is demoing for you. For the couple of states that are left now, you still have time to build one of these.
Now is the time.
Walt, how do you do it?
Well, so you find a box full of coffee from the room over there, and then you poke a small hole in it. You put in a piece of white paper in the back over here. Then you cover this with tinfoil, and then you want to have like a little bit of a 3-millimeter hole coming through right here. You look at it from behind, so the sun would be that light behind me, and you can see the reflection of the light. You can actually try it out. You can see that light behind you.
Look at that instructional video, right? Oh yeah, you can totally see it right there.
Right there.
There you go.
So
you guys, the eclipse is cruising across the country. Heartbreak for the folks in Carbondale, Illinois. But fear not. Keep your chin up, Illinois. Carbondale, it's coming back. The next solar eclipse,
the
solar eclipse, 7 years, right?
Yes. 2024.
Hey, it's already made its way through Idaho, but Olivia Smith is out there. She made her way to the top of a mountain, you guys. Take it in with the crowd out there. Let's head back out to her now to see how folks are reacting. Olivia, has some of that joy and the excitement worn off now, or are people still talking about it?
Hey, Amna and Walt. People are still talking about it. I mean, it's been pretty exciting up here on the mountain. We even have had paragliders taking off during the eclipse, and they're still doing it now. So the mountain is a pretty good place to be, more than 9,000 feet up in the air. It was a great view. I can't even describe the eclipse. It was much cooler than I could have ever imagined. And I'm going to introduce you to 3 people right now, Sean, Heidi, and Eric. They came from Salt Lake to see it, and they brought their bikes. Why'd you guys bring your bikes?
So we could ride up here and witness this beautiful eclipse.
So they didn't want to take the chairlifts that are famous for being invented here. They decided to bike to the top. How long did it take you?
We left the condo at 7 this morning, grabbed some coffee. We were at the trailhead at 8, and it was about a 2.5 hour trek up. So.
And did you guys make it in time for the eclipse?
We got here at exactly 10:29, and I think it first started cresting around 10:30. So
yeah.
So how would you describe it? First, were you tired when you got to the top?
Yeah,
pretty worn out. Yeah, pretty worn out.
A little winded. we're trying to hustle to get here on time. So yeah, we're pedaling pretty quickly.
Oh, even going faster to make it.
We were a little bit. There was a lot of energy when we got up here, though. People were pretty excited, and also a little bit of pork loin that we had from the night before. That helped. That helped.
How would you describe what you saw?
Once in a lifetime. I will never see anything like that again. That was incredible.
Yeah. Like a 360-degree sunset with like blackout coming from up above, but like this really beautiful red and orange kind of all around the foothills and the sawtooths. It was gorgeous.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for chatting with us. Okay, back to you on the Walt.
Hey guys, stay with us here. We're going to have continuing coverage coming up next on ABC.
Back now with ABC News coverage of the Great American Eclipse. This is time-lapse from Madras, Oregon. You can see how quickly day turned to night there and then back. And we saw just moments ago that massive traffic jam, people trying to get out, but they were smiling. Our correspondent there, Matt Gutman, asking the families, some of whom had traveled 14 hours to get there, was it worth it? And they were unanimous from inside that car. We'll check with them halfway through the route back maybe. But they saw a sight to behold, as so many have across this country. I want to get back to Ginger Z in Nashville. I got to tell you, Ginger, we're facing a very similar, actually, we're seeing the sun. We're seeing the sun. So I'm going to look at the sun and toss it to you.
It's still in place. And I'm still hearing people say it was amazing. And it was that once-in-a-lifetime event that happened for so many people. We got the darkness here. But I have to tell you, our sponsor, Mitsubishi, is taking full advantage. They took their brand new 2018 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross and put it in the path of totality just outside Salem, Oregon. They've taken cameras and put angles on this car with the Eclipse in the background from all different angles. And I'm telling you right now, ABC is getting this exclusive look before, during, and after the eclipse. These images are something that are going to come together for a whole
Hey, listen, Mark,
campaign.
we have a great shot here. We have a great shot in Charleston
for the eclipse
of the sun
to come together. All right, David, we're going to head back to you now.
Ginger, thanks so much from Nashville. Ginger Z reporting in from Nashville all afternoon. They got a little cheated. They weren't able to see the actual eclipse itself, but they saw it turn pitch black there in Nashville. I want to show you the sky above me right here in Charleston, because we're playing a game with the clouds here too. But you can see a sliver of the sun. You can see right through those clouds. And we are not far from max totality here. It's 2:38. We've got less than 10 minutes before it actually gets put to the test here. But we're like so many communities across the country who are waiting to see whether or not we'll see this, this natural wonder. Carbondale, Illinois, at the very last second, the clouds cleared in that city and they were able to see it. In Nashville, right before us, it was a game with the clouds. But you're looking live. That was just aerials of Charleston behind me, beautiful city. And we are surrounded by big, puffy, white sort of cumulus clouds on the lower end. The higher end, we'd have to ask Ginger and Rob. But I want to go back to Columbia, South Carolina. They're not far, obviously, from here. We're the last state before this great American eclipse heads out to sea. And as we mentioned before, these happen, once a year, but we often don't see them because they're over water. And we were lucky this year. Let's go to President Trump, who is on the Truman balcony at the White House right now. They're getting ready to look out over the South Lawn. Because a reminder that so many of you at home watching us know that even if you're not in the path, that 70-mile wide path, it looks like he's heading back indoors, is he not? But even if you're not in the path, so much of this country is experiencing this today. If it's not a total eclipse, it's a partial eclipse, anywhere from 20% to 100%. Cities like Atlanta seeing 90% coverage. You can see them looking up from the balcony right there with their glasses on. The president behind that pillar there he is, coming out with Melania, the First Lady, Melania Trump, emerging as they take in what is a breathtaking view. I hope somebody gave the president and the First Lady some approved classes by NASA. We do know that South Carolina is the next and last state before it heads out to sea. And I want to check in with Rachel Scott, who is in Columbia, South Carolina. Rachel, perhaps you can give us a taste of what we're up against too. What are you seeing?
Hey, David, well, I can tell you that, skies here were a little bit cloudy. People were very concerned, but now those skies have cleared. We are getting a clearer view. Very exciting here. The party got started here with a baseball game just behind me. The Columbia Fireflies were facing off against the Rome Braves. But of course, today is all about the eclipse and the totality of it. So I'm going to put on my glasses and get a look here. And we are almost there. I can tell you just a slither is left. We are less than probably 10% here. And I do want to talk to Doug, who's standing next to me. Doug, this is not your first time seeing an eclipse.
No, it is not.
So tell me, when was the last time you saw one?
Well, the last time I clearly remember was 1970. I was visiting cousins in Boston. And there was a partial eclipse, but it got cold all of a sudden, as it is now. And we said, wait, what happened? And we realized it's the eclipse.
All right, so we do feel it getting a little bit cooler here. As you know, David, it is very hot, and the crowds are starting to cheer. Putting our glasses back on as we are getting closer and closer to that totality. Just a little bit of way to go here, and a lot of people were very concerned because of the heat. Extremely hot in South Carolina, but we're feeling those temperatures get a lot cooler as they are dropping down right now. And we are seeing it. We're almost there. You can hear the crowd here. So excited to see this full totality. And here we go. Just a little bit more to go here, David. And there we have it. We are in complete totality. Everyone is taking off their glasses right now. You can see a lot of kids yelling and screaming. They're very excited as we reach the full totality here in Columbia, South Carolina. The totality is expected to last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And we are just taking this all in, basking in this right now. What a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for all of the people that are here in Columbia, South Carolina, that travel from all over the country and, frankly, all over the world for this amazing and incredible sight.
Rachel, we can tell you've got 1 minute 55 seconds left of max totality there in Columbia, South Carolina. You can see it on your screen right there. They're all gathered in the stadium. It's gone dark there. So many children and families gathered. And, we should mention that Columbia, South Carolina is one of 5 state capitals. This is so rare. This is why this is one of the most tweeted, they say probably the most viewed natural wonder ever when it comes to these solar eclipses, because of the number of populated cities that were in the path of this total solar eclipse in America. You've got Columbia, South Carolina, Nashville, Jefferson City, Missouri. You had Salem, Oregon, Lincoln, Nebraska, all these state capitals that were right in the path. And look, it is pitch black right now in Columbia, the capital, of course, of South Carolina. As we look at the pictures, you can see the corona around the sun there. Rachel's smile as well. I want to bring in on the phone, as we're looking at these pictures, Bonnie Tyler, because last I checked, Bonnie, your song from the 1980s was the #1 song right now on iTunes. Did you ever think that was about to happen again?
Well, that doesn't. Well, just a couple of weeks ago, it hit the 300 million mark, and that was before the eclipse. Yeah, but it's amazing. I just sang it live with DNC, and fabulous.
We should mention, as you can hear right now,
and again.
This is one of those moments, this natural wonder we're experiencing, and me in a split screen with Bonnie Tyler is something I never thought I would witness. Total Eclipse of the Heart is now the most downloaded song on iTunes today, #1, for obvious reasons. And Bonnie Tyler, great to have you on with us. We love the song in the 80s, and we love it in 2017. Yeah. Have a great time on that cruise with that crowd. I want to show you what we're seeing here right where I am in Charleston. If you look up, you can actually see right here in South Carolina, that is the view that we're looking at right here. As we now approach, we have 1 minute 35 seconds to the next totality, which is right where I'm standing in, of course, Charleston. We just watched it in Columbia, the state capital, and what an extraordinary sight they saw in that stadium. And I've got to tell you, I'm surrounded by an incredibly gifted crew, but no one is looking at me right now. They are looking at the sky as they should be. They are capturing the moment. They all have their glasses on. And we are standing on the People's Building, appropriately enough, here in Charleston. And I mentioned earlier in the program, President Taft came to this rooftop in the 1920s because it was one of the best views in this great American city. And now we are taking in the Great American Eclipse. The final stop in a big city, at least, here in the continental United States before this Great American Eclipse heads out to sea. It is pitch black. You can hear cheers throughout the city. You probably can't hear it at home, but you can hear it as we stand on the rooftop of this building. We have gone into complete darkness. And we have watched this play out in so many cities across this country before it even got to us. And there's nothing you can do to prepare for it. It is just breathtaking. People are applauding throughout the harbor. And anyone who's ever been to Charleston knows it's one of the prettiest cities in America. They were so excited and so welcoming, everyone who helped put this production together on this rooftop. And they are now taking it in. If we can look up, and we can see that we are now in a total eclipse. You can see the corona around the sun, which is one of those rare moments where we here on Earth, with the naked eye, can actually see that outer atmosphere of the sun, which we all know is a lot warmer than the sun itself. And we're, of course, waiting for, as it now then comes out of totality in about 56 seconds or so, we'll see that diamond ring again. And we've seen it play over and over again. The diamond ring and Bailey's beads, obviously named after Francis Bailey, the great astronomer who first coined the sunlight peeking its way through the valleys and the craters of the moon. And that's what creates those beads, that beaded effect. And here it comes. We've got 25 seconds left here in Charleston. And you can see how blessed the folks at Charleston are and we feel, because look at the cloud cover on the right screen. You can see how many clouds are in the sky. We did not know whether or not this would work for us or not. But we are seeing it. We are seeing it. It's quite visible to the naked eye. We're watching this with so many scientists who joined us today, former astronauts. I want to bring in Dr. Hakeem Oluseyi. And as you take in this image with us, Hakeem, what do you make of the fact that we have all been able to witness now the diamond ring we're seeing, the flash of light, as now darkness and nighttime turns back into daylight here in Charleston? What an extraordinary thing to witness.
It completely is. And I've been chasing eclipses for over a decade. And typically it's in places that are far-flung around the world. Ghana, Mangaya in the South Pacific. And it's a small group of people that travel all over the world to visit these. But now here we've had one coast to coast across America. The countries come together and we've all celebrated and we've all participated. It's like a big sporting event, except it's a big science event.
I've got to tell you, Hakeem, I'm really struck by the luck that kicked in across this continent, from the West Coast to the East Coast, with the exception of Nashville, and they were such good sports about it. But, the clouds parted ways just when it mattered most in so many of these cities along the path to allow Americans to see something that we haven't seen in 99 years. We saw the last one in 79, 38 years ago. That was only part of the country, but this is so unique. It's only the United States. We haven't co-opted this solar eclipse. That's not why we're calling it the Great American Eclipse. We're calling it that because only the United States, the continental United States, is actually seeing this today.
That's right. And what's amazing about it is that it goes from the West Coast to the East Coast. It is indeed a very, very rare event. And here we are all to witness it. And we're at a time when we have all this technology. And this means that not only the people who are on the line of totality get to see it, but it gets to go into homes all around the world. Everyone gets to share in the excitement. Everyone gets to share in the beautiful views. And if you're on the line of totality, you get the full experience. You get to experience the sun going dark. You get to experience the air getting cool You get to see the shadow of the moon racing across the countryside. I tell you, it's really something, and it's so amazing. You understand why people travel all over the world to see them. I'm one of those people, and now I think many more are going to be inspired to join us.
You know, it really puts us in our place as far as our role in the cosmos, doesn't it? The fact that we here on Earth are part of something much bigger.
That's right. We are. We are the universe itself, right? We are the universe become conscious and able to witness itself. And today we've witnessed something that's, you know, it's extraordinary. And, you know, we're really connected to the sun and the moon because it all started at what we call the solar nebula. And as the planets condensed, eventually us humans came about. And here we are to build instruments in order to see it and to witness it.
I have to say, Doctor, we feel lucky right here in Charleston as well to have witnessed the lineup of the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun in the way we haven't seen in our lifetime. When we come back, our coverage of the Great American Eclipse continues as it moves out to sea. So many of you at home sending us your messages, your tweets, and your images. We'll be right back. Back in a moment.
Hey, are you seeing? You are watching the Great American Eclipse, live coverage here on ABC. I'm Amna with Walt Hickey up here in our New York studio. We were feeling a little left out, so we went ahead and put these on, although they're pretty useless. But look, when you look up at the lights,
when you look at the lights, they're a bit occluded, you know?
I think these are useful. I'm hanging on to these.
I'm hanging on to these at least until April 8th, 2024.
So, man, at the end of that eclipse's path, coast to coast, all the way from the Pacific Northwest to the eastern shore of South Carolina, it speeds up there at the end, right?
Yeah. So right now it's actually accelerating as the shadow of the moon falls off the edge of the Earth. So it's pretty fun stuff.
Hey, let's head back out to Missouri in St. Joseph. Brad Mielke was out there experiencing that eclipse with some of the many folks who traveled in to watch it from the clear skies there. Brad, what's happening right now where you are?
Lisa, you grab my glasses?
Hey, you guys. Yeah, I'm here in St. Joseph, Missouri, and I'm joined by some of my new closest friends. How you guys doing? Now, I want to talk to you quickly just about what that was like, because it was cloudy skies all day today in St. Joseph. What did you guys end up seeing?
Oh, that was just the experience of a lifetime. The way we watched the sunrise and 360, and it was just beautiful, the total darkness. So beyond what I could talk about.
And we really got some pinhole light, you guys. You talk about pinholes and a way to look at the eclipse on the ground. That was like that with the clouds today, because all of a sudden at that moment of totality, that crucial moment, we saw that sun poking through.
It was a woohoo moment, and a lot of people peeled out before then, and so I'm glad we stuck it out.
Hey, what's on your head?
Oh, these are my welding glasses. So in my spare time, I arc weld and look at the sun.
Are you serious? You brought their welding glasses?
I learned some science. Corona is not just a beer from Mexico.
There you go, you guys. We're learning things left and right. Wait, can I try those?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, you guys. All right, so here are the welding glasses. Remember, if you're ever watching things, another solar eclipse, there's got to be a welding glass 14 or higher, and that will make it so you're like me and you literally cannot see in front of your face. So let's take those off. What was this like for you?
It's pretty awesome, man. Especially the total darkness. Never experienced that before. So, and also when the clouds broke just in time to see the full eclipse happen, that was good.
Yeah, and where did you guys come from again?
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Why? Why make the drive?
Because it was supposed to be total down here. It was only 90% there.
And there's a big, and as we were just seeing, I think there's a huge difference between even 99% and 100%, because at 99%, it was still just about this light, right?
Yeah, definitely. And back home for us, it was raining and full cloud cover, so wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah. Well, so there you go, you guys. This is our crowd from South Dakota that came all the way here for St. Joseph. They thought they might get washed out, but at the end of the day, we had the experience of a lifetime. You turn around on these flat plains of Missouri, and you saw a sunset that you'll probably never forget, and what was up in the sky was pretty awesome, too.
That's incredible stuff out there in Missouri with Brad Mielke. Thanks for being with us today, Brad. And back here in our New York studio, hey, we didn't miss out on all the fun. We have our own little mini eclipse in the palm of our hands.
We got some stamps from the U.S. Postal Service. So get this, right? You see how it's just an eclipse, right? If you hold a finger or any other hot thing over on top of it, you see a moon. It's basically the exact same effect.
It's the same thing, you guys, over and over again. You can experience. I will say we knew some folks who they tried to press it and it didn't quite work, which I don't know what that says. about them and whether or not they're vampires. We'll figure that out.
What was your favorite part of today?
Easily Bonnie Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
One. I love that
Everyone's
Total
saying,
Eclipse
like,
of the Heart is making a comeback.
Oh, it's making a comeback. I sung that song on Friday at karaoke. A comeback? It never left.
I think, but we had some of the best seats in the house, by the way, I will say. If we have to be sitting somewhere to watch it, and thanks to all of you for watching as well. We got to see Totality again and again, and every time watching people just slack-jawed, staring up at the sky and witnessing it. It was incredible.
Yeah, like, again, like, this happens every year. Like, this happens constantly. We're always going to get eclipses on Earth. It's a regular event. The thing that makes it so compelling is the folks who really go out there and really try to find this. And at times it was heartbreaking. Like, man, watching Carbondale, right? Like, that was fascinating because, again,
tough loss, Carbondale.
They get another try. They get another try. April 8th, 2024. We'll all be there.
But can you imagine paying $10,000 for some of those seats high up, as TJ said, and then only getting it for 5 seconds, and you're supposed to have it for 2 minutes and 41?
It is, again, it's fickle, it's heartbreaking, but again, just seeing everyone come out, seeing this, people from all over the world sprint to this 70-mile swath of America. It's pretty beautiful.
It's pretty cool stuff. Yeah. And I know some of you guys are watching out there on Facebook. You've been sending us some of your photos using the hashtag Eclipse. I think we have some of those photos now. Because even if you're not in the path of totality, you are still experiencing it in your own way. Check out some of these. Oh, look at that little cutie with her glasses.
Wow.
Spoiler alert for the rest of Canada. This is as dark as it got during the peak of Vancouver's solar eclipse.
Oh, yeah.
Not that far off. Not that far off. But remember, this is, scientists are saying, probably the most watched, most shared, most tweeted event. Just because so many people live in the path and still experiencing
millions of people are right nearby. They were all watching it. We're so connected these days through social media. And again, this has been a great opportunity for America to showcase some of our great national parks and all the beautiful scenery. Again, those shots in Idaho were incredible, right?
They were.
And so it's a real great thing. And I know Argentina's got one coming up. We have another one in 2024. So Canada, hold tight because that's going to run up Northeast New York. So you'll probably get some of that.
What was your favorite part so far?
Oh man, I think just like seeing that first reaction out on the beach in Oregon, right? Like just nobody really knew what to expect. Nobody had seen the social media burst yet. Like we haven't had that in years, in decades, and just kind of seeing that immediate rush and that immediate like the chill that kind of ran through the crowd and how they experienced it.
I love seeing all the little kids too, by the way, who are experiencing this, and it's like science coming to life in front of them.
In Columbia, South Carolina, that ballpark was just must have been a great place to be.
It must be nice to watch together too, right?
Yeah, it's a whole family thing. Again, this is the kind of thing that you remember for the rest of your life.
We hope so. We hope you remember watching here with us as well. We're going to take you back to the network special and then stay here with us. We're going to hit back all those places where the Great American Eclipse visited across this entire country, 3,000 miles, 90 minutes. Thanks for being here and watching with us, guys. Stay with us here on ABC. You're watching our coverage of the Great American Eclipse.
That was World News Tonight anchor Frank Reynolds in 1979 promising we'd be back to bring you this event. We certainly didn't know we'd be the ones to keep his promise, but we've been honored to share this Great American Eclipse with all of you at home. I'll see you on World News Tonight.
First out the door when it matters most. For more than a decade, he's been right there, everywhere. And when American jobs are on the line, he leads the charge. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast, and we thank you.
Hey, you're watching ABC's live coverage of the Great American Eclipse. I'm Amna here with Walt Hickey. Thanks for being with us, guys. Let's head back out into the field. What do you say? We've got people across the entire country who've been watching the Path of Totality unfold live. Let's go to our colleague Steve Osunsami, who joins us live from Atlanta, Georgia. Steve, tell me what it was like there.
Well, it's kind of like a sunset, but not a sunset, because we had about 91% of the sun covered. I call it a funky sunset. Let's make that a hashtag. There were probably several hundred people who were lined up. We're right now inside the Fernbank Planetarium, the Fernbank Science Center in Atlanta and Planetarium. There's still people in line trying to look at one of these two telescopes that are trained on the sun. And people have been coming in to get a good view. This is a safe thing to do. There's been a long line here all day, and I want you to take a look over here. There is a live feed that they have of what the sun looks like right now that has been going out online that people have been able to see and that people who are waiting in line can see. And I got to say, for all the talk about being in the totality, we still got a pretty good view here. You didn't have to drive that far. You could stand right outside your door and see the eclipse. There weren't the throngs of traffic that people had to go through. I had a friend who texted me. She said that she thought about bringing her kids here, and I said, you had the better view at your house because you didn't have to worry about parking. So this is a wonderful event for so many people, and I got to say, so I remember the last time this happened. I was in grade school, I think, and I remember thinking back to that. I remember it getting dusk, but remember thinking, what was the big deal? As an adult, seeing it, it's a little different because, like I said, it wasn't quite a sunset. It looked like you pressed an Instagram filter over the what you could see, and it changed into Amaro or Nashville or one of those Instagram filters. Is what everything looked like. So. We are still looking at the long crowds here that are still trying to get a view of this because there is still, right now, I would say that looks to be what? I want to say about maybe 40%, 30% showing. And so this event is still going to go for some time for residents here. There's still time, if you haven't seen it, to again, step outside your home, look up at the sky, and enjoy the show.
There you go. Just because you're not in the path of totality does not mean you cannot enjoy this. Steve Osunsami live for us in Atlanta, Georgia. Thanks, Steve. Let's head over to Kentucky. Clayton Sandell has made some new friends in a town called Kelly, where he's taken in the eclipse. Clayton, take it away, my man.
This is so me, right? This is a tailor-made assignment. We are here at the Kelly Little Green Maiden Days Festival, and you're probably asking, why aliens? What do they have to do with an eclipse? Well, Here's the deal. 62 years ago, a lot of people here in Kelly, Kentucky believe that aliens actually landed at a farmhouse just a few hundred yards that direction and terrorized this local family for hours one night on August 21st, 1955, and it made this town famous. So here we are. We're at the Kelly Little Green Maiden Days Festival, and but even if you don't know the story, you do know the story because it actually inspired Steven Spielberg to make a movie, or try to make a movie called Night Skies, and he ended up not making that one, but elements of it ended up in E.T. the Extraterrestrial in 1982. So I'm going to show you around, guys. Hang here for a second. We're just going to walk. Jeff and I are going to show you around. This is it. One of the key attractions here is this nearly 40-foot diameter spacecraft that they built not far from the purported landing site. Now, here's the thing: there are these skeptics, those pesky skeptics out there who say that maybe these aliens showed up in a bottle of Kentucky moonshine, But you don't want to say that too loudly around here because people really do believe that this happened. But nonetheless, there was no evidence, I believe. See, the truth is out there, guys. The truth is out there. So they started this festival a few years ago, and they usually get about they say about 3,000 or so people over the weekend. This time they expected around 20,000, obviously, because this is one of the points of greatest eclipse. So they had a lot more people here. They've been planning for this. Just down the road is the town of Hopkinsville, and they told us that they started planning for this eclipse 10 years ago. That's when they got the first call from an eclipse enthusiast who told them that this is going to be happening. So they hired an eclipse coordinator last fall, and they have been getting ready because they are 32,000 people in this town. And today, their estimate went as high as they were expecting as many as 150,000 people. So
not just people,
they really
alien Americans, as well as I saw Jar Jar Binks. We don't need
aliens, all sorts. Yeah, it takes all kinds from all over, from galaxies near and far, and 47 different states people came here from, and
about 20 countries. We talked to a couple this morning from Sweden. People came from Africa, from Tanzania. So, you know, they came all over and they got to see, you know, a spectacular sight. The thing that blew me away is that when the sky went dark and we saw that corona around the sun, you also could see, just all of a sudden appeared the planet Venus, just to the right of the moon, so of the sun and the moon. So it was a really remarkable experience. Everybody here just had a great time. There's been such a celebratory mood. Really, everybody has been so nice, so into this, and you know, the question now is, did any aliens come back during this eclipse? And you know, in this crowd, how can you tell?
Well, Misa, thanks you very much. We're going to come on back, and I know that we have Olivia out in still in Idaho with one of the best views of the day. Olivia, how's it going?
Hey there. Yeah, it's been so beautiful out here today. There have been so many people. Tickets were limited. They sold a bit more than 1,100, and the party is still going. The eclipse came and went. It was awesome, and now they have some music, they have some food, and we are here with people from Seattle and locals. We have Jim, Caden, Hillary, and Brad. What do you guys think of the eclipse?
Oh, incredible. Never seen anything like it.
And you came from Seattle.
I did. The eclipse was amazing, and to see my best friends. My wife got totally left out of this. 93% is not the same as this. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, phenomenal. And what did you think, Caden?
It was good.
It was good, right? What do you think, Hillary?
I thought it was amazing. I saw one when I was back in high school in 78 or 79, and it was on a soccer field at my school in Tacoma, Washington, and this is so much better. It's fabulous.
It really was spectacular. And the motion of the moon over the sun and just seeing the changes as it happened, and the change in the light was, we were all remarking over how dramatic the change was, because we went from full daylight to this odd dimmed sunlight, but still from above it was really eerie and just beautiful.
Hey, Olivia, we've been seeing all the visuals. Hey, we've been seeing all these visuals out here in New York. What we want to know is, what did it feel like out there? Did you feel a temperature change, humidity, any kind of huge effects that you kind of felt that we weren't able to get on camera?
Yeah, absolutely. They're asking about the weather. So I have to say, it did feel like the sun was fighting the eclipse. It was really hot. It was really bright at first. It almost knew like it was going to be eclipsed, didn't want to be eclipsed. Then when the moon came, I don't know about you guys, but I was really cold.
Yeah, it dropped about 20 degrees.
We had to layer up big time. It was really dramatic. And the change in temperature was amazing.
You said about 20 degrees you felt.
Yeah. To put in my
we put our down jackets.
Yeah. I think I wasn't expecting that dramatic shift. Were you guys expecting it?
No, not at all.
So,
Right.
but yeah.
And the shadows and everything were so much different.
Yeah, the shadows got darker.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Experienced it, you just can't anticipate what it's really going to be like. It was spectacular.
And I have to say, it was in that maybe a moment of a few minutes that you really felt the temperature drop. It was definitely gradual. It wasn't seconds. It was minutes, but it wasn't. Yeah, and it was cold.
It got windy too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did it feel like night? It's kind of hard to describe. It didn't feel like day or night.
It was like a twilight that wasn't exactly twilight, because the sun, the angle was different, and the light, the character of the light was different than twilight.
I've never experienced anything like that before.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it.
I'll tell you that.
Once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
So cool. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Caden. So so we're up here on Bald Mountain. Again, we're more than 9,000 feet up, and people did take those chair lifts to get up here, which I think is really fun because they were invented here in Sun Valley.
All right, the party is continuing out there, and Olivia's getting a hug from one of her fellow eclipse watchers.
Wait, that was almost better than the eclipse.
Bringing people together. That's what this is all about.
This is what it's all about, right? It's a beautiful thing. Everyone's so loving after that eclipse. Let's see if Rachel Scott gets any hugs out there. I bet she will. Rachel is in Columbia, South Carolina. She was hanging out with folks in a baseball stadium watching the eclipse unfold. Rachel, take it away.
Hey there, Almond. Well, the celebration definitely continues here in Columbia, South Carolina. At the ball game, like we mentioned, the Columbia Fireflies are facing off against the Rome Braves. But I gotta tell you, the eclipse was the star of the show today. And what a feeling, what a rush when we got to see it reach full totality. Everyone was a little bit nervous because because we did get some cloud cover, but I gotta tell you, it was amazing. I mean, what a feeling to see a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I do want to bring in this couple right here. Ken and Keith, they're celebrating their 41st anniversary. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you very much.
How does it feel to witness the eclipse that reached totality on your anniversary?
Well, I mean, that's amazing, but it was kind of emotional. It really took me by surprise. So beautiful.
Yeah. And I think for me, the biggest thing for me was that it actually got cooler. So on that wall here in Columbia, South Carolina, it is very hot. I mean, we have been in the 90s. They're from here, but this LA girl was fanning herself, drinking lots of water, trying to stay hydrated. And when it did reach totality, the temperatures did shift. It got significantly cooler. Did you feel that too?
Yeah, we had read an article that said that it might drop as much as 10 degrees, and it certainly felt that way.
Yeah,
it was outstanding.
It was very cool, and we did take off our glasses for a chance to see it. Just the moon reached complete dark and be a complete blackout. I mean, how exciting is this to know that this isn't coming back to South Carolina until 2017?
Yeah, I probably won't be seeing that.
We'll keep our hopes high. We'll keep our hopes high here. So like I said,
This is a ton of fun. So we want to hop out to St. Joseph, Missouri, where we've got Brad Mielke in the airport. Thank you so much, Rachel. Brad, can you get us? What's going on out there? Brad? Hey, guys. Yeah, I hear you. And we're here in the campground area of Rosecrans Memorial Airport. And people here have been camped out for several days. And now you see all around us, all this goes away in an instant. There are cars making their way down the highway. And let's see if we can chat with some of these guys who are loading up their car right now. What's your name?
Joe Drennan.
Joe, and what was it like? Tell me, walk me through that moment, because it was cloudy here most of the morning.
It was mostly, it was cloudy, and then it started raining. So we set up, and it was cloudy. We had some glimpses, during the partial eclipse. And I remember the first time the sun came out, and you could see it looked like Pac-Man, And people were clapping and just really enjoying it. And then like not even 10 minutes before the full eclipse, we were in the car because it's raining. And
No, these are ones actually put out by Google Maps. They are actually. They will fit on the regular.
All right, y'all. It looks like it's over now as far as seeing the actual footage. So I'm sure they'll be repeating this all night long because there's not going to be another eclipse going in the same path across America for another 500 years. Okay. The next one that's coming is going to be in 2024, but that's going to be coming from the Mississippi all the way up until around New York. So this is the last one for the next 500 years going from west to the East Coast. So thank you for coming. I'm real glad that we got to spend some time together and chop it up for a bit. So until the next time, peace, everybody.